औज़ुबिल्लाहिमिनश्शैतानिर्रजीम बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। व्यूअर्स आप देख रहे हैं वॉइस ऑफ टोरंटो टेलीविज़न की लाइव ट्रांसमिशन। मेरे साथ अंजुम मलिक के साथ प्राइम टाइम विद अंजुम मलिक एवरी फ्राइडे में आपके साथ होता हूँ रात 8 बजे के बाद। आई होप एवरीबडी इज़ डूइंग वेल। नाज़रीन, आप वॉइस ऑफ टोरंटो टेलीविज़न को सारे IP चैनल्स पे देखते हैं और हमारा सोशल मीडिया हैंडल @वॉइस ऑफ टोरंटो TV फेसबुक के लिए और यूट्यूब के लिए, और ईमेल एड्रेस हमारा है voiceoftorontotv@gmail.com। अगर आप बिज़नेस कम्युनिटी से ताल्लुक़ रखते हैं और आप चाहते हैं कि आपके बिज़नेस की प्रमोशन जो है वो हम अच्छी तरह कर सकें, तो आई कैन अश्योर यू गिव अस अ कॉल आफ्टर द प्रोग्राम एट माई पर्सनल नंबर विच इज़ 905-965-4786, and I'll be able to get in touch with you after the program and we will talk in detail how we can promote you effectively. ये जो हमारा मीडियम है वॉइस ऑफ टोरंटो टेलीविज़न का, हमारी आवाज़ दूर दूर तक सुनी जाती है और वी आर 24 आवर चैनल। एज़ यू ऑल नो दैट आपके फीडबैक हमें मिलता रहता है प्रोग्राम्स के हवाले से, और इसी तरह हम अपने आप को बेहतर भी कर सकते हैं और आपके लिए नए प्रोग्राम्स जो हैं टाइम टू टाइम हम वो लाते भी रहते हैं, और आप 2023 के अंदर और प्रोग्राम भी लेके आ रहे हैं। अगर आप अपना कोई प्रोग्राम शुरू करना चाहते हैं वॉइस ऑफ टोरंटो टेलीविज़न के ऊपर, तो हमारे पास टेक्निकल स्टाफ भी अवेलेबल है। वी हैव द फैसिलिटी अवेलेबल। गेट इन टच विद अस आफ्टर द प्रोग्राम 905-965-4786। सोशल मीडिया पे भी आप हमारा एक फ्लायर देख रहे हैं, इस हवाले से टाइम टू टाइम हम उसको अपडेट करते रहते हैं। अगर आप पंजाबी, उर्दू, इंग्लिश, किसी भी लैंग्वेज में, अरबिक लैंग्वेज में आप प्रोग्राम शुरू करना चाहते हैं, तो गिव अस अ कॉल एंड वी वुड लाइक टू हियर फ्रॉम यू। आज का जो प्रोग्राम है व्यूअर्स वो बड़ा इम्पॉर्टेंट है इस मुल्क में, कनाडा में, बल्कि नॉर्थ अमेरिका की जो सोसाइटी है ये क्रेडिट की सोसाइटी है, और ख़ास तौर पर पेंडेमिक के अंदर, जैसे कि आपको इल्म है कि बहुत सारे बिजनेस जो हैं वो बैंकरप्ट हो गए, लोगों की प्रॉपर्टीज़ जो हैं वो कॉन्फिस्केट हो गई हैं, पीपल हैव लॉस्ट मिलियंस ऑफ डॉलर्स, एंड समटाइम इट इज़ वेरी हार्ड। रिकवरी जो है इज़ वेरी हार्ड एंड वेरी स्लो रिकवरी होती है व्हेन यू गो थ्रू ऑल दैट अनफोर्स्ड सर्कमस्टेंसेस इन लाइफ। और कई दफ़ा ऐसा होता है कि आपका बहुत सारा पैसा जो है वो भी बाहर होता है, और आपके एज ए क्रेडिटर जो है आपके पीछे पड़े रहते हैं, और दे वुड लाइक टू रिट्रीव दैट मनी बैक, और उसके हसूल के लिए आप बड़ी जद्दोजहद करते रहते हैं। यू ट्राई टू बिल्ड योर क्रेडिट, बट सम टाइम द क्रेडिट हिट्स प्रीटी हार्ड, और फिर आपका क्रेडिट ख़राब हो जाता है, यू गो इनटू बैंकरप्सीज, और कलेक्शन कंपनीज जो हैं वो आपको तंग करती रहती हैं, सारा दिन आपको कॉल्स आती रहती हैं, एंड इट्स अ वेरी अनोइंग काइंड ऑफ अ सिचुएशन वेयर यू रिसीव सो मेनी कॉल्स एवरी डे फ्रॉम अ कलेक्शन एजेंसी कि आपके देयर इज़ अ डेट दैट नीड टू बी कलेक्टेड, और उस हवाले से वो आपसे बात करते रहते हैं। एंड दे हैव डेडिकेटेड पीपल हु हैव बीन हायर्ड टू डू दिस जॉब ऑन अ रेगुलर बेसिस, और उनका काम ही ये होता है कि वो आपको दिन में 10 दफ़ा कॉल करें, आपसे बात करें, अगर आप नहीं हैं आपको मैसेज छोड़ें। तो इट इज़ वेरी डिस्टर्बिंग। समटाइम दे विल रीच आउट टू योर एम्प्लॉयर्स, आपके एसेट्स जो हैं वो भी जो हैं ज़ब्त हो सकते हैं, आपकी इनकम जो है वो गार्निश हो सकती है। तो इन सब चीज़ों को मद्देनज़र रखते हुए बड़ा इम्पॉर्टेंटली ये है कि हाउ यू कैन मैनेज योर फाइनेंसेस इन दिस कंट्री। जब आप इस मुल्क में आते हैं एक नई ज़िंदगी के लिए, और आपको बहुत सारी चीज़ें इल्म नहीं होती और आपको लीगैलिटीज़ का पता नहीं होता, तो आज मैंने कोशिश की है कि एक कनेडियन कंपनी है एसेट ARC, एसेट रिकवरी कंपनी है, एंड दे आर इन अ बिज़नेस फॉर ओवर 20 ईयर्स, और उनका जो काम है टेक्निकली वो ये है कि दैन जो क्रेडिटर्स जो होते हैं दे विल ट्राई टू इनिशियली गेट इन टच विद यू फर्स्ट, and if you don't reply back within certain amount of time, 30 days, 45 days, 60 days, 90 days, then your file is been assigned to a collection agency, and these collection agencies work for the creditors, not for you. So basically we will receive messages from them, letters from them, sometimes you get threatening letters from them. और अगर आप ज़िंदगी के किसी ऐसे दौर से गुजर रहे होते हैं जहाँ आप बीमार हैं, आपकी जॉब चली गई है, then you start getting these calls and the letters, then your life is actually shattered. So just to have all that information, in the right place, मैंने आज सोचा कि I will speak with this company, and Charles Murray is with us, and I will talk to him in regards to at what stage the collection agencies come in, उनकी working क्या होती है, how they can help you, how they can help the creditors at the same time. अगर आपके कोई पैसे जो हैं वो मार्केट में हैं as a business owner and you are not been able to collect that, कोई services आपने provide की हैं and people didn't pay you, then you have, if you have some sort of a contract or an email contract in place, you can get in touch with the collection agency, give them your file. From there, that point on, they will start looking after all your requests, how to retrieve that money back. So let me see if I have Charles with me, and I will first of all get in touch with him and see that how we can talk to him, and let me see if he's there. Hi, Charles. A very good evening, and thank you for joining Voice of Toronto Television. How are you?
Not too bad. Thank you so much for having me. Happy New Year to you as well.
Happy New Year to you as well. Happy New Year. Thank you so much, Charles. I'm just going to go back on my camera. Viewers, आप देख रहे हैं Voice of Toronto Television की नशरियात मेरे साथ अंजुम मलिक के साथ on Friday, and this evening it's a very, very special program tonight that we are trying to bring out to you. And this program is actually it is for the people who are going through some hardships in their lives, and they don't know how to mitigate those hardships. They don't have the right help. Then I have Charles, who's been in a business for almost 20 years. He is an owner of a collection agency, which is, for some people, it's a very scary word, because people get scared from that word, that a collection or a debt collector is trying to call you, try to harass you, try to send you some harassment letters or some harassment phone calls, maybe at 6 a.m. in the morning or maybe at 10 o'clock at night. I don't know. We're going to ask him what are the rules in Ontario, that at what time the collection agency can call somebody, and what they can do. But at the same time, if you are in business and you have some debt that needs to be collected and you don't know where to go and how to get the help, they're also doing this. This is what their job, this is what we do. So thank you so much, Charles, connecting with me tonight, and especially on this platform on Voice of Toronto TV. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Let's talk a little bit about you, Charles. First of all, your company, how long you've been in business, what is the core business services that you guys offer, and then we're going to go into the details of the processes and how everything works at your end.
Okay, sure. All right. So I guess a little bit about me. Hi, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. And I'm Charles Murray. I'm the owner of Asset Recovery and Credit. It's a collection agency in Toronto, Ontario, of course. And we've been in business for about 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I have about 20 years of collection experience.
Yep.
Asset. Whole purpose behind this agency, Anjum, is, like you said in the opening statement, it can be very scary, and there's a lot of negative stigmas associated. I'm here today, and again, thank you for having me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here to shed some light on what it is exactly that we do, how we can help businesses, business owners, self-employed people, entrepreneurs, and of course, the people that I end up calling.
So I'm going to just pause for 1 second. I'm going to let my audience know that we have Charles Murray with us from Asset Recovery Credit. It's a collection agency. If you have a question, our studio line numbers are on the screen, which is 905-670-8255. 4114. Do give me a call if you have a question during our transmission tonight, and we will put that question to Charles. Yes, Charles, go ahead.
Okay. So I guess from a holistic approach on the business side, let's start there. Um, it can be very difficult and frustrating as a business owner after pouring your heart and soul into your business and doing the work, the hard work, getting up very early, coming in very late, um, sacrificing time with the family and with the kids for a customer to now pay that money that you are depending on to keep lights on, to pay for products, and ultimately pay suppliers and vendors is now gone, and you either have to use your savings, or if you're not in that position, you have to find the money somewhere else, which is very difficult, especially now, for business and self-employed people, entrepreneurs in general. So the whole purpose of working with a collection agency is to alleviate that stress. So you don't want to wait until the 99th hour, and when you're very much dependent on that payment. It would be very advantageous to work with the collection agency from the beginning and just have them as a part of your accounting team, perhaps, and
Yep.
working side by side with the accountant. So when it comes to the end of the year and it's time to write off these people that haven't been paying, you have a game plan, you have a strategy, and you don't have to now run around like a chicken with their head cut off and stressed out. So it's very important to just reach out, have the conversation. It doesn't cost anything to have a conversation, and it doesn't cost anything to list with a collection agency. Most collection agencies should have a guarantee whereby if there's no collection, there should be no fee. If you're in a position where you're having
Okay,
financial
so
issues,
I will come on
yeah,
that. Let's shed a
okay,
light on a few things.
sure,
First of all, as a collection agency owner, you guys have ties with the organizations and the financial institutions who retain your services to collect an outstanding debt.
that is
Now,
correct.
what do people need to know as a consumer? We
Mm,
have a lot of people who connect with us every day who are newcomers to Canada, students in this country, people on work permits, right? Some people
okay.
are just brand new landed, and then, the regular people who live there. So let's give them a little process of thought here that at what stage people need to know that there is a problem and the financial institution can refer a file to a collection agency like you.
Okay. So if we're talking big banks, you have a little bit of time, and there what's called collections or soft collections, where you receive a courtesy call from the accounts receivable department in any particular institution, where they say, "Hey, Anjum, is everything okay? Maybe you've missed a payment a day or two,
Yeah.
maybe 30 days," and they'll work with you to the best of their ability. But there comes a time, typically at the 60 to 90-day mark, where they begin to get worried, and that's when they reach out
60
to
days.
about 60
Okay.
days is
2 months. Okay.
about 2 months is what triggers it, and then at the 90-day mark, you're in hot water.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
So when we say 90 days, it means like you're 3 months behind on your payments.
exactly. Yes.
So
So
that's
if you haven't made
where,
that payment,
now, do they have an internal collection department at the banks first before the file goes there? Or at 90
yes.
days mark pass, they refer it to somebody like you?
So they try and work with consumers to the best of their ability and to the best of the consumer's
Yep.
financial capability.
Yep.
But at that 90-day mark, whether that payment is made or not, or maybe it's a series of broken promises, it ends up in collections.
Okay.
And at that point, it damages the credit.
So when somebody has passed 90 days, their credit is already been affected.
It has been affected, but
Okay.
it is not the end of the world, Andrew. And
Okay.
that's what I want to make clear to
Okay.
everyone. If you miss your payment, things happen. We're human
Yeah,
beings.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
it
of course.
happens to
Of
everyone.
course. Yes.
So don't freak out.
Yeah.
Just be in contact with the institution and
Yeah.
let them know exactly what's going on.
Correct.
And should be no issues after that. If you fail to communicate, that's when there's an issue.
There's a problem.
It's
So,
huge.
so technically, and it brought to my attention so many times from different institutions that, and some institutions are very hard than the others. Like American Express, if you
Oh yeah,
miss 90 days slot, they cancel your cards, they cancel your accounts, and they refer it to a
that is
collection
right.
agency.
That is absolutely right.
So when a account has been canceled by an institution, what kind of negative effect have that on your credit report? I
Okay,
mean, it has
so
gone to the agency. That's a secondary thing, right?
so it's a two-part answer. From the internal aspect, let's use American Express for example. When they have their charge cards, you have to pay that bill specifically at the end of the month. Every 30 days,
Right,
you have to make good with them. That's their policy. If you fail to do that,
right.
then they will reach out in courtesy. But if you do not make your promise, it will be sent to collections, and it
Okay.
will damage your credit rating, and
So
it
let's say
will
somebody had
decrease
a
the
credit
score.
rating of, let's say, 700, and
Okay.
he one of his account got into a 90 days behind on a payment and is referred to a collection agency. How damaging is that?
It's going to be damaged in two ways. The first way is it's going to reflect an R3 on the credit report, meaning
R3.
it's three
Okay.
months behind.
Okay.
After that happens and it's sent to the collection agency,
Yeah.
it goes from an R3, meaning it's 3 months behind, and there's a possibility of repairing the relationship, let's say the American Express. After that R3, it automatically goes to R9, which is bad debt written off in collections to this automatic 100 to 200 points gone. So 700, 500 credit score now
Wow.
overnight.
Wow. That's a big hit.
It's a huge hit.
Now, when it comes to you guys that file, and so from that point on, what is the process that you guys do, and how you guys evolved into that?
So when the account gets listed to a collection agency now, we initially by law you're required to reach out and send a communication to the person, to the debtor in this case, the consumer, letting them know that you've been retained by, again, American Express in this example, for the amount outstanding.
Okay.
The thing that most people don't understand when it goes to collections, even though you were 3 months behind, possibly argument's sake, let's say $100 behind in your monthly minimum payments,
Yeah.
as soon as it comes to collections, it's now listed as a demand debt due and payable in full.
Okay.
That means if you have a $10,000 balance on this card, you need to pay it all the day it comes into collections. Otherwise, the longer it's in collections, the more time it's going to impact the credit score, the credit rating, and your ability to move forward with life and financially.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So that was one part of the question. The second part of the question is that as long as the financial institution is letting the consumer know that you are 30 days or 60 days behind, it's still with them, and it is not with the collection agency. But would that
Correct.
still affect their credit because they were 60 days behind or 30 days behind on a payment?
It would impact it, but
Okay,
not significantly.
not
It is
significantly. Okay.
it you can repair it.
It will
You
show from
pay the past
R1
due
to
balance
R2 or R3,
through exactly. It will
like
revert right
2 months
back to an
behind.
R1.
Okay, okay,
But if you do not communicate and it ends up in collections, that
yeah,
chance is out of the window.
okay. Okay, I have a call from a caller. Welcome
Okay.
to Voice of Toronto TV. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Hi.
Very well.
Hi.
I have a question in regards to collections.
Yep.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes, we
The
can. Yes.
question that I have is that how long does it take for your credit to be affected once it goes to collections?
How long would it take?
Yes.
I can.
Okay,
As soon
hold on
as
one
it's
second.
listed.
Yeah,
Okay. Am I good
yeah,
there,
yeah,
Anjum?
yeah, yeah, you're good.
Okay.
You're good. Go ahead.
Perfect. So, to answer thank you for your question, by the way. That's a good question. And actually, the day it is listed, that is when the damage is done. So, you may have a tiny, tiny
Yeah, yeah,
window
one
of
second.
grace
Yeah.
before it is listed to your credit bureau, and that is when the ultimate damage is done.
Okay,
So,
so
the
hold on
minute
one
the
second. Let me ask the question one more time. Okay, what was the question one more
Sure.
time?
How long does it take for your credit to be affected when it goes to collections?
How long would it take for your credit to go to collection?
Get your credit affected in collections.
How long would it take your affected to get affected in the collection?
Yes.
To be affected in collections.
Okay, okay.
Immediately. Yeah.
Yeah, immediately, he said.
Immediately. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
I thought
but
there's no like time limit that there's a new letter and you have time. Then
There's a
like it'll
tiny
show on your
window
credit
of
right away.
grace.
if it goes to collection, like Charles said, it will be affected right away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to know how that whole situation works. How can we fix our credit if it's already sitting on our credit report?
Yeah, it's coming
Okay.
now. We're going to ask that question. Keep on watching the show.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so good question. So if
Very good
like you just said
questions.
that if it starts showing on the credit as a collection, how long would it take to get that thing rectified and taken off from your credit?
Okay, so the sooner the absolute better. Once something is listed on the credit report as collections, it actually has a special place on the credit report for collections, and that is there for 6 years. So the minute that it is listed as unpaid,
Okay?
you are continuing to get that damage on the credit score. The minute that it's updated from unpaid to paid is when that damage stops, and at least you have an recourse to explain to new creditors what may have
Okay,
happened.
so let's say for any unforeseen circumstances, it does
Hmm.
end up in collection, and you speak with the collection agency. So, what kind of settlements do you guys do with them? And how soon, when it says it's settled, what is the process that you guys do? And do you send them a letter that it's been settled? Do you update the
Yes.
Equifax and the union, trans unions? And how does people will know that it's been settled and now they don't have to worry about this?
Okay. So this is of paramount importance, okay?
Yep.
You have the right and the ability to settle.
Okay.
However,
Okay.
that settlement comes at a price.
Okay.
It it does not show paid. Even though you are resolved, it doesn't show paid. It shows settled, which still leaves some room for scrutiny from potential um, creditors and financiers.
So let's say you had $1,000 in debt, and it went to the collection agency. It came to you. You called
Yes.
the customer. You settled with them, let's say for $600. So now the customer can pay $600 to you, and you can pay whatever you have to pay to the financial institution. But in their mind, that they paid you $600 and their account is settled. Can you explain that?
So, yes, Anjum, it is settled. But one thing that consumers must be aware of is that shortfall remains on the credit bureau. So, in
It
this
does.
scenario of yes, if it's $1,000 and
Okay.
you settle at $600, that $400 balance remains on the credit bureau as settled. It's no longer outstanding, but it does show a new or potential creditor that there is a possibility that they may not be paid in full in the future.
Oh, oh, I see.
So that is very important when you're considering settling.
But isn't like your job as a collection agency to make some sort of a settlement with the consumer to help them out to get out of this debt and get this thing rectified from the credit report and the move on in life?
Yes, but I also have a commitment to my client, which is in some cases the creditor, right? And I have to use broad strokes when I'm painting because there's certain situations where people they do not have the financial capacity, capability, or
Yeah,
wherewithal to put food on the table.
right.
That is very much different than you just not wanting to pay the bill in full. So if I am settling, I am going to ask some very personal questions about the financial capacity
Okay,
to discern whether I would even consider bringing the settlement to my client.
okay, okay. Now, the company that you have, Asset Recovery Credit,
Yes, sir.
I see the number of services that you have on board is landlord tenant, small claim
Yes.
courts, general contractors, transportation industry, point of sales, merchants, private loan and mortgages, credit reportings. Put a little light on that. Where the land or tenant thing comes up, and why would it come into collection agency? You mean
Okay,
the
that is
outstanding
the
rent? You mean?
that is it, right? Nail right on the head,
Okay,
Anjum.
okay,
Yes, so especially in this time, it's very expensive. Rent is expensive, mortgage is expensive too.
yeah.
But nonetheless, you go 3 months without paying your rent, and the landlord is going to want to put a red notice on the front door and change the locks, right? In that case, they have to go to
They can
court
do that?
and well, they can't just do that. They have to go through some steps
A
first with the
process,
landlord
yes.
tenant.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
so
You have
they
to go
go
to
through
the
their
board, the
process.
landlord tenant board.
Exactly, right.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
you don't
okay.
just go out kicking people up doing illegal
Yeah, yeah.
evictions. That's terrible. But yeah, you go through the board and you get your order and you evict these tenants that have not been paying, and then what? They're no longer your problem, but they still
Yeah,
haven't paid, and now you need to recover those
correct,
funds. So
correct.
that ends up in collections because you've already been dealing with them for X amount of time, and you're over it at this point. And yeah, now it's time to have this unpaid rent show up on their credit report, so it hinders them from getting new credit, new apartment, mortgage, and things of that nature.
Charles, we're going to take a very short break for about
Please,
2 minutes.
no worries.
We're going to run some of our, commercials, some of our ads from our sponsors, some upcoming events. So stay with me, and I'll come back to you after 2 minutes. All right?
I'll be right here.
Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Sandeep Singh. I'm the owner of Heritage India Restaurant. It's a fine dining restaurant with tradition and culture. अगर आप पुरानी दिल्ली की ट्रेडिशन, कल्चर और माहौल को एंजॉय करना चाहते हैं खानों के साथ, तो प्लीज़ आएँ हेरिटेज इंडिया 485 मेन स्ट्रीट, ब्रैम्पटन। मैं चाहता हूं कि आप अपनी फैमिली और दोस्तों के साथ यहाँ आएँ, आकर के हमारे खाने का लुत्फ़ उठाएं। और अगर आपके यहाँ किसी तरीके की कोई पार्टी है, बर्थडे पार्टी, किटी पार्टी, बेबी शॉवर, तो हमारे यहाँ डिफरेंट हॉल्स भी हैं जिनका आप पूरा फ़ायदा उठा सकते हैं।
घर खरीदने की तरफ पहला कदम, मॉर्गेज अप्रूवल। आप सेल्फ एम्प्लॉयड हो, सैलरीड हो, बिजनेस ओनर हो, मैं आपके मॉर्गेज अप्रूवल प्रोसेस में आपकी मदद करूंगा। आप फर्स्ट टाइम होम बायर हो, डेट कंसोलिडेशन की रिक्वायरमेंट हो या सेकंड मॉर्गेजेस चाहते हैं। मेरा नाम है अली यज़दानी, मेरा ताल्लुक है आकाल मॉर्गेजेस से, जहां पर when we say yes, we stand behind our promise. Call me 647-510-9494. आपके मॉर्गेज अप्रूवल में आपका ट्रस्टवर्दी पार्टनर।
Looking for a dream house?
Always have your own doctor and a realtor. There is no shortcut to experience and knowledge. You want to buy, sell, or invest? Residential or commercial? Experience the difference with us for Tahir, your full-time realtor for life.
I want to be a data scientist. That's something I'm passionate about. I want to bring a change in the medical aspect. Data scientists do collection of the data, then they analyze the data, and then they transform the data into meaningful conclusions. Algoma is unique because we get a chance to do one-on-one interaction with professor, and that's the best part.
The need of computer science graduate is huge. Nowadays, the industry demand is changing every day, and Algoma is adaptable. Algoma is changing its course content, changing the degree programs, and giving several certificate courses that the industry is actually looking for.
Personalized learning is the hallmark of Algoma's university experience. Algoma is offering the accelerated second degree. It's the only one in province.
Algoma not only just give us an in-campus experience and skill set, but they also help us develop how to present ourselves in real world. Where do I see myself in 5 to 10 years? I see myself working at some multinational corporation as a data scientist. This is the first step towards my journey.
Are you ready, Toronto? Khalid Siddiqui presents, in association with ABS Friends Entertainment Limited, the legendary Sufi rock band of South Asia, Junoon to Rock Toronto. Featuring Ali Azman, Salman Ahmad, Brian O'Connell, on Saturday, March 18th at CAA Center. Tickets will be available from November 1st from ticketmaster.ca. Call Usama Akhtar.
वेलकम बैक व्यूअर्स, आप देख रहे हैं प्राइम टाइम विद अंजुम मलिक, वॉइस ऑफ टोरंटो टेलीविज़न की लाइव ट्रांसमिशन। और हम आपके साथ होते हैं एवरी फ्राइडे को। और इस प्लेटफॉर्म के ऊपर आप बहुत सारे प्रोग्राम्स देखते हैं, आप उनको पसंद भी करते हैं। वुमेन एम्पावरमेंट का शोज़ हैं, रियल्टर कैफ़े के शो हैं, आपका एडवाइज़र का प्रोग्राम है, दिल की बातें, बहुत सारे प्रोग्राम्स हैं। द जर्नलिस्ट शो है, सीनियर्स फोरम्स के प्रोग्राम हैं। हम कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि इस साल जो है 2-3 नए प्रोग्राम्स को लॉन्च करें इंशाल्लाह। तो आने वाले चंद दिनों के अंदर यू विल सी सम न्यू चेंजेस इनटू सम न्यू प्रोग्राम्स। लेकिन फ़ीडबैक आपका बहुत ज़रूरी रहता है, और फ़ीडबैक के लिए ईमेल बड़ा इजी है, voiceoftoronto.tv@gmail.com। इस पर आप हमें लिख सकते हैं। अगर आप सोशल मीडिया पे हैं और आप हमारा प्रोग्राम लाइव देख रहे हैं, जैसे अभी सारे चैनल्स के ऊपर, फेसबुक पे भी लाइव हैं, यूट्यूब पे भी लाइव हैं। और अगर आपने हमारा पेज लाइक नहीं किया तो आप वॉइस ऑफ टोरंटो टीवी के पेज पे जाएं, @वॉइस ऑफ टोरंटो टीवी, उसको लाइक करें और शेयर करें, एंड यू कैन वॉच आवर प्रोग्राम ऑन यूट्यूब एंड फेसबुक एट द सेम टाइम। हमारे साथ आज जो हमारी बातचीत चल रही है वो ख़ास तौर पे एसेट रिकवरी एंड क्रेडिट के हवाले से है। कलेक्शन एजेंसीज़ इस मुल्क के अंदर एक बहुत बड़ा एक फिनोमिना है। इस मुल्क में जब आप आते हैं और उसके बाद जब आप लोन ले लेते हैं, क्रेडिट कार्ड ले लेते हैं, गाड़ियाँ ले लेते हैं, और उसके बाद अगर आपकी जॉब चली जाती है, आपका बिज़नेस नहीं चलता, आप बिज़नेस बंद कर देते हैं, और फिर ये क्रेडिटर्स जो हैं आपको तंग करते हैं, और उसके बाद आपकी फाइल्स कलेक्शन एजेंसीज़ के पास चली आती हैं। तो आज हमारी कोशिश ये है कि इस सिटिंग में जो आपके साथ मेरा प्रोग्राम है, कि बहुत सारी कुछ ऐसी इन्फॉर्मेशन आपके साथ हम शेयर कर रहे हैं जो आपको पता होना चाहिए कि कलेक्शन एजेंसी जो हैं वो किस तरह काम करती हैं, किस तरह आपको हेल्प भी कर सकती हैं to get your money back from the market as well, from lot of creditors जिसको आप बोलते हैं। अगर आपने सर्विसेज प्रोवाइड की हैं कंज्यूमर को और आपको वहाँ से पैसे नहीं मिले, you can get in touch with them and get the help that you need. But at the same time, अगर फाइनेंशियल इंस्टीट्यूशंस ने आपको परेशान किया हुआ है and you don't know what to do and how to go about it, collection agency is there to help you. They are the last resort basically, but I brought them in tonight because कि वो जो last resort वाली चीज़ है वो आपको पहले पता होनी चाहिए कि उससे पहले आपको क्या क्या चीज़ें कर लेनी चाहिए। So we have Charles with us and we were discussing with him when we went on a break. Thank you, Charles, for staying with us during this transmission and during the break time, and thank you for sharing the valuable information with our viewers tonight of Voice of Toronto TV. Thank you so much.
More than happy. And again, thank you for having me.
No, absolutely. It's a pleasure. And, our slogan is your city, your voice. And we on this platform, we try to educate our consumers and our community to the best of our ability, especially the knowledge and the wisdom that you guys carry. And we bring you guys on the platform, and you can share that knowledge with our viewers on a regular basis. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Now, one of the things that came to my mind while I was talking to you before I went on a break, and that would be that we talked earlier about personal credits, people who have personal issues, but there are a lot of people who are self-employed and they are also in businesses. Now, what happened to someone who is a sole proprietor versus a corporation? How would that affect their credit? Would somebody who is in a corporation would be not having that effect on the personal side? Only the corporation will be affected? Give us a little input on that.
That's an excellent question.
Okay.
It really boils down to the fine print. Okay. So typically, let's give you 2 examples. Sole proprietor.
Yeah.
Sole proprietor, everything is in the person's name.
Correct.
There's no layer of protection.
Even though the account is a business account, but they are operating with their name and a trade name under a sole proprietor.
Exactly. So the person with the, like I say, with the belly button is still responsible. When it's a corporation, the corporation technically has the belly button. So if the corporation goes belly up, out of business, bankrupt, the person that owns the corporation may not be liable for the debt.
Okay.
But
so
again,
his personal credit will be spared if he go down on the corporation?
There is a chance. There's a high possibility. But creditors are very smart. So they say, hey, even if your company goes bankrupt, you are still responsible, which is called a personal guarantee, as you know. If that is signed, then the personal credit is also impacted, in addition to the corporate.
But I have seen, in business that people will register multiple corporations. They will go bankrupt on a few, and they're still in business, and their personal credit is not touched.
That is because how they have decided to call a spade, defraud the system. That's what they have done. Bankruptcy is a serious matter, and it's there when, I would say, that is the absolute last resort.
Correct.
Right? Because you can always work with the collection agency. Maybe, like I said earlier, you could find a way to reduce the amount, settle it if you qualify for that, and if it's really worth it to you.
Right.
But when you go bankrupt, that's it. You're bankrupt.
So let me come to a point here. Can you educate our viewers tonight? What is the difference between a consumer's proposal versus a bankruptcy? How long does the bankruptcy stays on your credit in the province of Ontario? That's where we live.
Okay.
And if somebody have done a consumer proposal with through a financial advisor or one of those companies who provide those services, how would that keep on affecting their credit? And because you are a collection agency, you know this better than nobody else.
So again, you have the most amazing questions, Andrew. I must say, they're so unique, right? And right on the money. So
right on the money.
For credit counseling versus bankruptcy. Bankruptcy is the complete inability to pay. There's no money. There's no chance.
You are insolvent. Nothing. You have nothing to pay.
Insolvent. Nothing left. No assets. It's a bad situation.
Correct.
Credit counseling is a little bit different because you're basically saying, look, I have $100 a month.
Yeah.
And I need to pay 10 people.
Yeah.
So this company goes to these 10 creditors and says, you're going to get $10 a month.
Okay.
That's it. You're getting $10 a month. There's no negotiation. You're getting $10 a month.
And they have to agree on that.
Client. They have to. There's no choice.
Okay. So when that happens and you keep on paying people or the financial institutions or the lenders X amount of dollars, so how is that still affecting your credit? You're still paying, right?
You're still paying.
Yeah.
But here's where the system gives you the...
I think I have another
have
call.
A call. Okay.
Welcome to Voice of Toronto TV. Hello.
Hi, I'm watching the show and I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, it's regarding the bankruptcy. If a person files a bankruptcy and what about their personal assets? Like, for example, if they have a house, a car, something that they definitely don't want to lose, but do they end up losing that too? Or can they be saved?
Okay, so you are watching us on TV or on Facebook. I'm
Yes,
gonna hang
I'm watching
up
you
and-
guys on Facebook. Thank
Okay,
you.
so he will answer the question, so please listen to it, all right?
Thank you.
Thank
you
you
so
for
much.
the question. Thank you. Bye-bye. Here we go. Another question for you.
Another question.
Yeah.
Okay. So if I just want to make sure I have the question correct.
Yeah.
So bankruptcy, can I save assets?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. House,
Yes.
car, stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah.
The short answer is yes.
Okay.
If you're going bankrupt, you're not going to be homeless.
Okay.
You can still keep your primary residence.
That's actually great because
Yeah.
in this country where we live in Canada, you don't want to be homeless.
No.
No.
Winters are too hard.
No, the life
No,
on the
but
street
all
is
jokes
just
aside, yeah, no,
unbelievable.
it's
Unbelievable.
it's unbelievable, right? But I want that listener to know and rest
Yeah.
assured you will not lose your house and you will not lose your car if these are apps. Obviously, your house
Yeah.
goes without saying, you need a roof over your head, but the car, if it's the primary mode of transportation
Correct.
to get you back
Correct.
from work, no,
Correct.
it will not be part of the bankruptcy.
Correct. Okay. Okay. So, coming back to the question earlier, if you have done some financial counseling and you have filed a proposal and you are
Yes.
paying the debts of that proposal, how long would it take for you to get back on a track and be eligible for a credit again?
Again, the system is very tricky. It's
Okay.
very tricky. So bankruptcy, say 7 years. Credit counseling, consumer proposal, 6 years.
6 years. But I
6
heard
years.
it's 3 years you can rebuild back or something. That is not right?
It is right to some degree, but it is case by case, right?
Okay.
If your total debt was, say, argument's sake, let's say $5,000,
Okay.
and you were able to make those payments in short order, yes, I could see that happening in 3 years.
Okay.
If you owe 500,000,
Okay. If the debt is large. Okay.
yeah, and
Okay.
and it depends on your financial ability, right? If you're making less than
Okay,
desired,
so
then it's
a
going to
lot
be
of
harder, right?
these
So,
debt consolidation companies or the advisors in the market, they will put this notion on the radios and they will advise their customers that, okay, we're going to do a proposal for you, you pay this on a monthly basis like we just discussed, but then we're going to give you a credit card, a secured credit card and all that, and it's going to start building your credit. Put a little light on that. How would that affect them to rebuild faster and be eligible for credit again?
again, these tricks of the trade. Once it's in collections,
Okay.
and it remains unpaid, it's
Okay.
unpaid. You're not getting credit from anywhere. You're really not. If it is a secured product,
Yeah.
you're using that cash to get your secured MasterCard, Visa, what have you. And you can get that anytime. You don't have
Correct.
to wait 3 years.
Correct. Correct.
Right? So it's really a carrot.
But if you have taken a secured credit card and you're making a payment on that, would be giving them a benefit to reestablish and go for an unsecured credit? That is my question.
Yes, but you're
While you are
still
in
going
proposal.
to have to
While
wait.
you are in proposal,
While you're
still in proposal.
While you're in proposal, no.
Oh, no.
Will not happen.
Okay. Okay.
It won't happen.
Okay.
It won't happen. You can get 100%. You can get the secured product.
Okay.
While in proposal, it would be extremely difficult to get any new credit.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So we were talking about earlier regarding people who own businesses versus sole proprietorships. You just elaborated that. Let's talk a little bit about another scenario. and that scenario
Sure.
is a lot of children in this country or students
That's right.
when they go and to universities and colleges, they get the Ontario, the loans, which is the OSAP
Yeah,
loans.
the OSAP, yes.
OSAP
yes,
loans. So if the OSAP loans are not paid by the student, how many years do they have to make the payment on that loans, first of all? And if they are behind on that OSAP loans, does that reflect that on the credit report as well? And would that affect their credit score?
Yes, yes, and yes.
Another
Yes.
good question, right?
Another great question.
Okay.
So, a couple of tricks. As long as you are a student, you are not required to pay,
Okay.
right? You can always ask for more, but as long as you're continuing your education,
A
you're
full-time
not required
student.
to pay. A full-time student.
Okay.
The minute you graduate, yes, they want their money back right away, but you need a little bit of time to get gainful employment. And sometimes that takes longer than expected. So I always recommend to students, don't freak out, ask for interest relief.
Okay.
That means if you're not worrying about the payment, you're not worrying about anything, just ask for a little bit of time, they'll give it to you. It's the government, they will give it to you. If you again fail to communicate, then it will go to collections. The bank portion of that OSAP will go to collections, and it will ruin the credit, and it will stop you from getting a job after
Really?
all of that work. Yeah, because a lot of employers, they want a background check. Part of that background check is a credit check. So it's
So
counterproductive.
if you are trying to put your application to a financial institution for a job,
Yes.
the financial institution, like the major banks or any financial institution, they will do a credit check on you with your consent?
Of course. Of course.
Or they
of
will do
course.
it
It's part of-
anyway?
No, you always have to have consent.
So
with the
that would
exception
be a
of
soft
being in
inquiry or
collections.
would be a hard inquiry?
That would be soft. So
It would be a
they're-
soft. It
they're
will not affect their
only
credit
looking-
score.
It will not impact your credit score.
But if
They're
they
looking to
had
verify the
previous
information.
history of any collections or anything like that, that could affect them to get a job.
Correct.
Is
because
that correct?
You may not be bondable, right?
Okay.
That you may need good credit if it's a financial position.
Okay, okay. Another question just came to my mind, and I prepared this for you, Charles, today. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
And it just came to my mind. A lot of people in our country, in Ontario, let's say, if somebody is on ODSP, Ontario Disability Support Program, and if the ODSP is saying we give you overpayment or blah, 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 and you have to pay us
Ooh.
back, does
This is a really good
that
one.
get affected on the credit report?
It shouldn't.
It should not.
It shouldn't. It shouldn't.
Okay.
It's very rare that
Okay.
something like that would happen. You would have had to owe them a lot of money.
No,
But it's very rare.
But there is no legality in that. There's no legal format for ODSP to report if they mistakenly gave you an overpayment, and then they can report that to the credit agencies.
I mean, technically, there's nothing stopping them, but I've never seen it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Okay, all right. What I'm gonna say 5 things. What are the 5 things that people should take away from this program tonight, from someone like you who is running a debt agency, collection agency, who are scaring people having their sleeps?
That is not the way to go about it. Now I'm going to jump right in and say it's not the way to go about it.
Okay.
I do not appreciate scare tactics.
Yeah, that's good.
It's terrible.
Lot of agencies
Life is
do.
hard enough.
Lot of
Yeah,
agencies
they
do.
do. It's terrible. It's terrible. You know, they
They
say, I'm
call you
coming to
maybe
your
at 10
work.
o'clock at night.
You know, yeah. Oh, you did ask that earlier. That is against the law, by the way.
So till what
the-
time the agency is allowed to make a phone call to a
In
consumer?
Ontario,
Yeah.
9 p.m. 9
Oh,
p.m.
9 p.m.
Yeah, 9
And
p.m.
that's
as
Monday
early
to
as 7
Friday,
a.m.
or it's 7 days a week?
Monday to Friday.
Monday to Friday. Okay.
limited
Not on the
times
not
on
on
Sunday.
not on the holiday, not on the weekends.
You should not weekends. Yes, between like business hours, right? But I mean, at the end of the
Okay.
day, you should not be getting a call on a holiday, on a stat holiday, on Christmas, on New Year's, times where, of course, you're going to be home, but you're supposed to be home with your family,
Yeah.
and you shouldn't have to worry about getting a collection call on those days.
Yeah, yeah. So what are those few things that you will advise our viewers tonight that they should be aware of? And things could change into anybody's life at any point of life. You know,
That's right.
his health, his job, it could be anything. That they can think that, you know, you guys are good people, not bad people.
You know what? We are technically we're anti-heroes. You know, we're like Wolverine in X-Men. We do the dirty work at the end of the
Yeah,
day, but it needs to be
yeah.
done. But to answer your question,
So it's
the five
it's like,
things
you
that I
know,
would
those
impart.
what do you call those, Roto-Rooter, number one in the number two business, something like that.
Exactly, right? We're an absolute necessity, but we're not anyone's favorite.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping
So,
we
so
could
Charles, tell
change
me
some
what
of
to
this
take
thinking.
away from this conversation tonight, especially.
Okay. So here,
For me,
here are the five
for the
takeaways.
viewers, to benefit.
Okay, so
Yeah.
here are the takeaways for you. Number
Sure.
one, do not be scared. Do not
Okay.
operate from a place of fear. Don't be
Okay.
scared.
All right.
Number two, communication is key.
Okay.
Please
So once you
communicate
get a
whether-
letter from a collection agency, open it up and give them a call. Do
give
not
them
put
a
it
call.
away.
Don't be
Do
scared.
not put it away.
Don't
Okay.
put it away.
Okay.
You have a few days. In
Yeah.
most cases, you have that tiny window
Hmm.
when they send that letter or that first communication.
Correct.
Take advantage of that time. That is your time
Correct.
to explain any situation that may have happened financially.
Now, can you
Okay, take that time.
guys settle for the consumer with your creditor? Like, say somebody owe $100,000, and can you settle with them? Okay, you know what? The guy said, I only paid 30,000. Can you write off 70%? What is the norms in the industry?
It boils down to financial ability.
Okay.
If someone goes from being a multimillionaire to having a bad car accident, now on ODSP,
Yeah.
where are they going to get the money?
Correct.
Then it makes sense to settle for that
Okay.
person because their life has completely changed. It
Correct.
won't go back to how it was.
So it changed from circumstances to circumstances.
Exactly. If you're making $1 million and you owe 100,000, why would you want to pay the 30,000? For what purpose does it serve?
Correct. Okay.
Right. So the settlement is a tool to help consumers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So we were just talking what to take back from this. Something
So
very important.
I believe we were on 3.
Number 3.
The fourth.
Yeah.
The fourth is don't be ashamed.
Mm-hmm.
We all go through financial difficulties.
Correct.
Even Donald Trump, right? Everybody goes through financial difficulties. Don't be ashamed. Don't be scared. Reach out to your family and friends. They're in your corner. So if you're short a little bit of money, it's better to take care of the credit and ask for
Yeah.
the help if you can't ask for
Correct.
the help.
Correct.
And last but not least, collections is not the end of the world.
Okay.
It is the beginning of a new page. Okay?
Okay.
So, and that goes for the consumer and it goes for the business owner as well.
Okay.
For the consumer, you may not have had the opportunity to make the payment in a timely manner to the creditor. That's fine. Communicate with the collection agency so that we can advocate on your behalf and go back to the creditor and say, we have assessed the financial abilities. This is what we think is acceptable, and they usually are okay with that. On the professional side, the business owner side, don't just say he didn't pay, she didn't pay, forget it. The money is owed to you. The work has been done. Talk to your accountant. Verify what I'm saying with the accountant. There's no such thing as free. At least list it. At least list it and have the opportunity to recover the money. That's what I will leave with you, Anjum.
Charles, I am very humbled, very thankful for your time tonight, and I'm sure, and 100% sure that with this conversation tonight that I'm having with you, must be coming out to benefit to a lot of people out there who are watching us tonight, because
I hope so.
this
I really
is
do.
a major dilemma in this country, to protect your credit, and oftentimes people's credit gets stolen as well. Identity theft.
We didn't touch on that.
I'm coming back to at the last. This is the last question. The identity theft, when that happens, and it's get reported to the credit. How does that could be removed and be cleared? Just put a little light on that for a minute and a half before we close.
Okay. That one is I think that is the cherry on top, Andrew, because that one gave me goosebumps, because that one is very tricky, because you don't even know what's happening. You're total victim in this case, right? You go to get your mortgage and you find out someone has already stolen your identity. Immediately contact the police. First and foremost, police. Get the police report. Take the police report to Equifax and TransUnion Canada. You tell them to put a freeze on your personal credit profile. That means nothing else will happen, and they can do the proper investigation so that it can be updated, amended, rectified. That is the short answer.
Okay. Thank you so much. So viewers, if you are passing through, one of those hurdles in life where you need help, a solid guidance, get in touch with Charles, a asset recovery credit. Their phone numbers are right there on our screen. Give him a call in confidentiality. Speak with him.
Of course.
See if there is any old debt that somebody owe you as a business and it's not been recovered. They will get in touch with you and he will guide you how to go forward and what to do next.
Definitely.
I will chat with you again, Charles, in coming days. We will talk.
Thank you. Thank you
my
very
friend.
much. Have yourself a great night.
Bye-bye.
You as well. Cheers.
व्यूअर्स ये थे हमारे साथ चार्ल्स मरी, एसेट रिकवरी एंड क्रेडिट। अगर आप ज़िंदगी के ऐसे दौर से गुज़र रहे हैं और आप समझते हैं कि आपको हेल्प की ज़रूरत है, आपका कोई मामलात कलेक्शन के साथ हैं, तो प्लीज़ गेट इन टच विद देम, दे विल बी एबल टू हेल्प यू। अपना फीडबैक ज़रूर दीजिएगा। voiceoftoronto@gmail.com हमारा ईमेल एड्रेस है, और हमें बहुत सारे हमारे प्रोग्राम जो हैं, जैसे कि आप वो देखते रहते हैं, आप उनके फीडबैक देते हैं, और हमारी कोशिश ये होती है कि बहुत सारी चीज़ें आपके साथ हम शेयर करें, आपको एजुकेट करें। हमारी एक होस्ट है अनिला, जो कि आपका एडवाइज़र प्रोग्राम करती हैं। शी कम्स आउट विद अनदर वेरी इंफॉर्मेटिव सेशंस एज वेल। वॉइस ऑफ टोरंटो टीवी पे आप वुमेन एम्पावरमेंट का प्रोग्राम देखते हैं, अनदर ग्रेट प्रोग्राम। हमारे सारे प्रोग्राम्स जो हैं वेरी लाइकेबल शोज़ हैं। आपका फीडबैक जो है हमेशा बड़ा खुशाइंद रहता है। तो कीप ऑन राइटिंग टू अस. अपना ख्याल रखें. ज़िंदगी ने वफा की तो इंशाल्लाह कम बैक टू यू नेक्स्ट वीक अगेन. मुझे दीजिए इजाज़त. एंड वेरी थैंकफुल टू मिस्टर आमिर अख्तर साहब, ऑलवेज द टेक्निकल डायरेक्टर for Voice of Toronto TV, for making us look good, especially looking me good always on camera. Thank you so much. Allah Hafiz. Bye-bye. Assalamu alaikum.